Hello everyone. Today we will learn the definition of causal reasoning. It is very important in your studies this year. So what is causal reasoning? It's the process of identifying causality, the relationship between the cause and its effect. Two subtopics of causal reasoning is necessary and sufficient. For necessary, if P is necessary for Q, then Q cannot be true unless P is true. Q is true only if P is true. A sufficient condition. If P is sufficient for Q, then P being true is enough to make Q true. If P is true, then Q is true. We've came up with 3 examples for necessary. Having 4 sides is necessary for being a square. Having a valid driver's license is necessary for legal operation of vehicle in Thailand. Being more than 20 years old is necessary to be able to go into clubs in Thailand. We also came up with 3 sufficient examples. Being a triangle is sufficient to have 3 sides. Being born in Bangkok is sufficient to be born in Thailand. Buying a train ticket is sufficient for traveling from one location to another.
Now, here's a little quiz. Being a mammal is a sufficient condition for being human. Is it true or false? False. Because being a mammal in itself is not sufficient for being a human. In order to be a human, you must have the critical and logical thinking ability that a human has. Being human is a necessary condition for being a mammal. False. Because being a mammal doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be a human. You can also be a cat or a dog. Being human is a sufficient condition for being a mammal. True. Because being a human is enough to be a mammal. Earning 120 credits is a necessary condition for graduation. True, because in order to graduate, you require 120 credits. Earning 120 credits is a sufficient condition for graduation. False, because in order to graduate, you don't only need 120 credits, you also need a 2.0 GPA and up. Being a female is a necessary condition for becoming pregnant. True, because if you're a male, you don't have the biological ability to become pregnant. While if you're a female, your biology has the ability to become pregnant. Being a female is a sufficient condition for becoming pregnant. False. Because being a female in itself is not sufficient, you also need to be a female that isn't sterile. Now, it gets more challenging. Being a male sibling is a necessary condition and sufficient one for being a brother. Is it true or false? It's true, because in order to be a brother, you must be a male and have a sibling. Also, if you're a male and have a sibling, that's enough to make you a brother. Steering well is a sufficient but not necessary condition for driving well. False. Because in order to drive well, you don't only need to steer well, you also need to have good control over the pedals. Boiling instant noodles in water is sufficient but not necessary for cooking. True, because instant noodles can be cooked in many ways, not just boiling, such as microwaving it. Getting all the answers correct in the test is necessary and sufficient for getting a perfect score. True, because in order to get a perfect score, you need to get all the answers correct. And getting all the answers correct is enough in itself to get a perfect score.
Yo! Dude! Yeah! That's hot.
That's funny, man.
Well, boys and girls, that's it for today. Stay tuned for next time.